So no, The Last Airbender is not better than Atla 99% of the time. It's a bad movie that badly adapts a show, and M. Night Shyamalan should be, and I think is, ashamed for having made it. It's bad, don't watch it. However, it does do exactly one thing better than the show did, in my opinion. See, Avatar The Last Airbender is mainly a story about the horrors of war. It's whimsical and has a fantastic world, but by and large that is its core theme. War is bad, violence is bad, always try to find a peaceful resolution that harms the least amount of people. This is Aang's dilemma at the end of the series. His entire conundrum is not whether he's capable of defeating Ozai, but whether he can do it while maintaining his perceived moral soul by not killing him. This is all fine and good, and we can argue about whether the lion turtle garbage was good another time, but for now, that message is at least a little bit ruined by the season 1 finale, where Aang, in the Avatar state, turns into a water monster kaiju and murders a lot of people. We can certainly argue semantics over how much control Aang had, if any, over his actions, considering that he was not only in the Avatar state, where it's stated outright that he barely remembers what happens afterwards, but is also under the influence of the enraged ocean spirit who wants revenge for the death of its other half. Those are all very important factors when considering how one feels about the validity of this argument, but even if you disagree with me, that there even is a debate about this in itself is a crack in the moral of the story. To some people that have valid arguments of their own, whether you think they're valid or not, think Aang has already killed people and now is choosing not to kill Ozai because... Now let's jump over to the movie. It has absolutely sucked up to this point, but when Aang decides to confront the Fire Nation during the North Pole invasion, he does so with his normal abilities, taking out Fire Nation soldiers with waterbending on his way to the wall to survey the situation. It's only after seeing how many more ships and how much more fighting would have to be done to win the day does Aang willingly invoke the Avatar state to bring up a massive tsunami out of nowhere. The fighting immediately stops at this raw display of power, and Aang even bends it over the incoming ships as a final warning, basically saying, "Get the fuck out of here before I have to do this." And when the ships start retreating, Aang lets the tsunami slowly recede without causing any actual harm to anyone, and from there, the battle is over by default. This change preserves Aang's moral soul for his inevitable conflict against the Fire Lord, where he would have presumably had the same conundrum as Aang did, but then we'll never know, and for good reason. You'll notice that this video is very short, and that's because the title isn't wrong. This is the one and only thing that the movie does even comparably well to the show. So, here it is. Tell me what you think. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until the end, my friends.